You've been sleeping more and ticking off your recovery checklist, but you still feel like a shell of yourself. Most people think they're just tired, but these hidden red flags prove your recovery is actually failing. And if you ignore them long enough, burnout doesn't just happen, your body forces you to stop. Most people think burnout happens because they're working too hard, but in reality, burnout usually happens because recovery is failing them. The scary part is most people don't realize it until their body finally breaks down. They're just feeling tired, they feel sore, they feel mentally drained, but underneath, their nervous system is actually breaking down. So today, I'm gonna show you 3 signs of recovery is failing, because if you catch these signs early enough, you can fix them quickly. But if you ignore them, imagine waking up 6 months from now even more exhausted than you are today. Your productivity is crashing, your workouts feel harder, your energy disappears. That's exactly what happens when your recovery fails. So let's break down the 3 warning signs that most people miss. The first sign your recovery is failing is something most people completely overlook. Your resting heart rate starts creeping up. Now, most people never track this, but it's one of the most reliable signals your body gives you. When recovery is good, your resting heart rate stays relatively stable. But when your nervous system is under too much stress, it begins to rise. Sometimes by only a few beats a minute, but that little change tells you your body is stuck in a constant stress response. It's not fully recovering between workouts. It's not fully recovering from work stress, and your system never fully shifts back into recovery mode. Athletes track this very carefully because it's often the first signal that overtraining has begun. The second sign recovery is failing is persistent soreness. Now, soreness after training is normal, but when soreness lasts for days and days, or when you feel like muscles never fully recover between workouts, that's not a sign of hard training, that's a sign of incomplete recovery. Your body simply doesn't have the resources to repair the tissue you're breaking down. And when that happens long enough, performance starts to stall. Strength plateaus, energy drops, and eventually people start thinking something's wrong with their training program. But the real issue isn't training, it's recovery capacity. Now the third sign, and this one surprises a lot of people, is disrupted sleep. The classic wired but tired feeling. You're exhausted all day, but when you finally get into bed, bam, your brain won't shut off. You wake up during the night, or you feel in the morning like you barely slept at all. Happens to me all the time. This is because stress hormones like cortisol stay elevated. Your nervous system is stuck in high alert mode. Your body literally cannot drop into deep recovery. Sleep becomes shallow, recovery becomes incomplete, and the cycle continues. Now here's the important part. Stop blaming your age on your constant workload or your fatigue. If you're experiencing these 3 specific symptoms, your recovery isn't just slow, it's officially failing. We are breaking down the science of why your energy is leaking and how to pivot your strategy to finally feel alive again in 2026. Most people respond to this by trying to push harder. More workouts, more cardio, more caffeine, but the real solution is exactly the opposite. You have to shift from constant intensity to intentional recovery. That means making sure your protein intake is high enough to support repair. It means scheduling strategic deload weeks where training volume drops temporarily. It means getting sunlight early in the day to regulate your circadian rhythm. It means daily movement like walking instead of constantly hammering those high intensity workouts. And sometimes it means simply giving your nervous system the permission it needs to slow down. Because the goal of training isn't to destroy your body. The goal is to stimulate adaptation. And adaptation only happens when recovery is strong. The people who make the most progress in fitness long term are the ones who train the hardest. They're the ones who recover the smartest. So if you're feeling exhausted, if your progress has stalled, or if your workouts suddenly feel harder than they used to, don't assume you need to push harder. Take a closer look at your recovery process, because fixing recovery often unlocks more progress than harder training ever will. If you like what we had to say today, go ahead and subscribe, like our channel, please. It really helps us go a long way. If you're looking for an online coaching program, there's a link down below. Mike and I are always accepting applications. We look forward to hearing what you have to say. Have a great day.